Hi, this is Morley and this is the M-Wire. Well, folks, within 48 hours of the last talks that occurred in Brussels with Russia over security concerns regarding NATO and Europe in general, there has been a massive cyber attack in Ukraine. Government websites, including military websites in Ukraine, have been compromised by a massive cyber attack. In addition to that, Russia is preparing to move yet even more troops into position as a result of the failed talks in Geneva and Brussels, saying nothing of the two conversations that Vladimir Putin has had with Biden. It would seem very apparent to me that the Russian Federation is less than pleased with the lack of results to meet their so-called demands at these security meetings, and this essentially is their response to that. Obviously, Russia has denied any involvement in these cyber attacks, but smart people watch this channel, so I'm quite confident that you, the viewer, can deduce exactly who is responsible for these cyber attacks. What we're witnessing here, folks, is essentially how warfare takes place in the 21st century. It's not necessarily artillery and rockets flying in the air, although that could potentially be a component to it. But as I said in my previous update, Russia could easily take Kiev just with missiles. They wouldn't have to roll a single man over the border. This military buildup could potentially be a big psyop on their part. Only time will tell. All I can tell you is that they're getting ready to move more troops into position as we speak, as they are loading more military equipment onto trains to transport in various parts to potentially invade Ukraine. As well, there's been reports that as of a few days ago, there was a big electrical cable that was cut between Norway and Finland. Basically, the main grid cable, if you will, was deliberately cut. And obviously, no one's owned up to that. So I wonder who's responsible for that, because Finland and Norway strategically is very important to Russia because they obviously have a little-known Arctic base that is nuclear capable. Most people don't even know it exists, but it really does. It's been proven. So that would be a very strategic location for Russia should some sort of conflict arise. But before I get into the article giving the particulars of the cyber attack, I just want to thank all of you that are leaving comments. That's absolutely fantastic, folks. Keep them coming. Hit the like button while you're at it. And without further ado, let's get into this article. Ukraine was hit by a massive cyber attack on Friday, warning its citizens to expect the worst. And Russia, which has massed more than 100,000 troops on its neighbor's frontier, released television pictures of more forces deploying in a drill. The developments came after no breakthrough was reached at meetings between Russia and Western states which fear Moscow could launch a new attack on a country it invaded in 2014. The drumbeat of war is sounding loud, said a senior U.S. diplomat. Russia denies plans to attack Ukraine but said it could take unspecified military action unless demands are met, including a promise by the NATO alliance to never admit Kiev. Russia said troops in its Far East would practice deploying to faraway military sites for exercises as part of an inspection. Defense Minister footage released by RIA news agency showed numerous armored vehicles and other military hardware being loaded onto trains in the Eastern Military District. Folks, he's obviously planning for potentially a ground invasion, but like I say, he's moving more troops into position. He's had these talks with the West and NATO and whoever else is involved, and they haven't bore any fruit, and he's just like, okay, this is what I now must do. The movements indicated Russia has no intention of dialing down tensions over Ukraine, having used its troop buildup to press sweeping demands for security guarantees, mainly described by the United States as non-starters. Ukrainian officials were investigating the huge cyber attack when they said it hit around 70 internet sites of government bodies, including the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Cabinet of Ministers, and Security and Defense Council. Though they avoided direct accusing Moscow, they made clear Russia was suspected. Here's what it said. Ukrainian, all your personal data was uploaded to the public network. All data on the computer is destroyed. It is impossible to restore it, said a message visible on hacked government websites written in Ukrainian, Russian, and Polish. All information about you has become public. Be afraid and expect the worst. This is your past, present, and future. Now, please tell me that there isn't some sort of psyop involved here, folks, because I don't know what I'd do with myself if there was. There clearly is. And I mean, we know it's Russia. Let's be honest here. The Ukrainian government had said it restored most of the affected sites and no personal data has been stolen. A number of other government websites had been suspected to prevent the attack from spreading. Ukraine's military intelligence also accused Moscow of preparing provocations against Russian troops based in a breakaway region of neighboring Moldova, which could be used as a pretext to invade Ukraine on a new front on the west. The European Union's top diplomat, Josep Borrell, condemned the attack and said the EU's Political and Security Committee and cyber units would meet to see how to help Kiev. I can't blame anybody as I have no proof, but we can imagine. The message left by the cyber attack was peppered with references that echoed long-running Russian state allegations rejected by Kiev that Ukraine is the thrall of far-right nationalist groups. It also referred to the sites of killings carried out by Nazi German-occupied Poland by Ukrainian insurgents, a point of contention between Poland and Ukraine. The United States warned on Thursday that the threat of a Russian military invasion was high. Russia has consistently denied that. Moscow said dialogue was continuing but was hitting a dead end as it tried to persuade the West to bar Ukraine from joining NATO and roll back decades of alliance expansion in Europe. The United States and NATO have rejected those demands but said they are willing to talk about arms control, missile deployments, confidence-building measures, and limits on military exercises. Well, judging from this article, folks, I don't think Russia is anywhere near interested in any of those. So this is what's happening behind the scenes. We could very well be on the verge of a major conflict. Now, I said may, it obviously depends on what Mr. Putin's next move is, but folks, I agree that we're going to war. That's just my personal opinion. You can take that for what it's worth, but I want to know what your opinion is. Please leave it on the comments below. Are we going to war or not? But thank you for coming along with me to this very important, very poignant update. Please share this video. Please like and comment and subscribe while you're at it as well. And of course, until the next update, God bless.